Hello, everyone. Welcome to the phone-in show live on Monday. It's going to be here every Monday. It was here last Monday. So if you want to get involved, my colleague here, Daniel Lawless, he will send you the link. You just message us on Twitter. Where do they message him, Dan, to get the link?
You can message us on Twitter, on the Facebook, West Ham Fan TV. Obviously, we can't just put the link out publicly, so we need to find a way where you can message us for the link. Twitter is a good place.
Yeah, we cannot put the link out publicly. There's not going to never be a place where you can just click a link and come in. Otherwise, we'll have all sorts of fucking weirdos coming in. I've seen it. Trust me.
Speaking of weirdos, we did send the link to Sean Whetstone. We'll see if he turns up.
Yeah, he's got it. So if he comes in, but we have got someone coming in a second. We just lost him for a second. But 2 games to save Graham Potter's job is going to be the initial subject. But don't think you're restricted to that. You can come and speak to me about anything. You can speak to me about the new signings that was meant to be made. You can speak to me about the morning after the game before that a lot of people have resignated.
We've just got a reply. Did you mean to send me a random StreamYard link?
Just say yes. Just say yes.
Yes. Oh, that's funny. I guess he hasn't seen the video from earlier then.
Maybe, do you know what? I don't want to blindside him down. So maybe you should send him the video. Just say, look, there's a video you can watch before you decide whether you want to join or not. So yeah, it's up to you. It's up to him. It's up to whatever you're going to do. But we sent him the link. We didn't even tell him what it was about. But if he hasn't seen the video, then maybe it's better. Don't come in because I'm going to fucking go off on him if he does, and he won't have a fucking clue.
Yeah, poor guy.
There we go. Let me see if the first guest is ready. Have we got anyone else who wants to come in?
Let us know. No one's contacted us on Twitter. I'm just going to put it out to the Facebook, West Ham Fan TV on Facebook. We've just set up a new Facebook. Oh, let me.
So let's just go on. See if somebody said a week of prediction. We'll see about that. But if you want to come on, just absolutely do. We'll start the Graham Potter thing, Dan, before the first guest.
Graham Bailey. Reported this.
Graham Bailey reported. Does Graham Potter have 2 games to save his job at West Ham? Now, we've heard all this before, and listen, this is not very dissimilar to what we've seen before. We've heard it about Moyes. We've heard it about most of the managers that we've had at Lopetegui. And they always seem to give him one of the games where it's an easy game where he can get out of it. And this one would be the easiest one because we're both sitting at the bottom. Wolves have got no points, haven't they? It's us and Wolves with no points.
Yeah, us and Wolves, but we're bottom on goal difference.
We're bottom on goal difference. So it's us and Wolves. So we'll play Wolves on Tuesday, on tomorrow night. I'm going up there if you want to come and see me if you're going. But he'll have them 2 games to save his job. Ironically, it would be just after the transfer window shuts when he decides that he wants to get a new manager in. But there we go. So 2 games to save his job, Dan. What's your thoughts on that?
This is the Sullivan way, isn't it? It's always, he has this many games to save his job, and then he'll get 1 win or a draw. It's like we can't sack him off that. Restart again, and then we'll lose the next one. Now he has another 2 games to save his job. And he just longs it out constantly. And it makes it look like he's doing something. And this is the Sullivan way. If you're thinking about sacking a guy and you've given him 2 games to save his job, just get rid of him. Simple as. All of this 2-game thing, it's nonsense. But it's believable. It's very believable. And them 2 games, Wolves and Forest. Wolves, like you say, it's a winnable game. But it should be on the league. Really and truly, it's survival that we need to look at. And winning against Wolves in the Cup, where we're both changing players around, doesn't tell us anything about this team. So it should be really Forest. Forest is a must-win now. We've put ourselves in a situation. Otherwise, we go into an international break on 0 points. So X is longer than 2 games. So it's longer than 2 games according to X, but he's given a time frame. So whether it's 2, 3, 4, he's given a certain number of games. So he's on sack watch.
So what are we doing then? Are we right? Are we giving him an amount of games that keep on starting again? One of these ones where it resets every time he wins a game, and then he'll have this next 5 games. Who knows? But we've got a special guest. He's just coming in. He's just about to come in now. He'll tell us a thing. You'll see this, geezer. He done a fan cam last week. Don't he behave yourself? The Romford final.
Oh, Sandy boys.
What's happening, mate?
Nice one.
What have I missed? What have I missed? What you was talking about?
Well, we were just talking about Graham Potter, mate. But it isn't about what we're talking about. It's what you want to talk about. It's what you've come on here to say. What do you want to say, Davey?
There's a lot to say. My words probably won't go down as good as when I'm 10 points deep after a 3-0 loss. But obviously the sober thoughts are pretty much similar to it. I think he's got a system that our players don't fit his system at all. Like every single player, like I can sort of see the sort of things he wants to do, but we haven't signed anyone. It's partly his fault, but it's not. Like none of these players are comfortable playing his style of play. We just got no identity. Like he wants to try something else. Like he wants to try and play this. Remember the Brighton football he was playing. These players, some of them are Moyes, some of them are Lopetegis. You ain't gonna get. You need a basic manager. Like I'm not saying that we need to go forward. Listen, I don't want to go backwards because at the look of it, at the start, you say Graham Potter was a good appointment. We all did. Like I thought he was a good appointment, but I think the players that we've got ain't gonna fit his style of play, is it? Like I just we're if I was him, I would say right. I haven't got what I need. I'm gonna save my own face and go and have all, because. It's not working out for him, and it's not working out for us. It's literally, you can blame Potter. I mean, I do blame him, but he ain't a shit manager. Like, he's not. Like, but we're not giving him the tools. So I think it wasn't a good fix. No one in that boardroom has looked at him and go, this is Potter's style of play. We're gonna need this, and it's completely like alien to him, these players. Most of this team are Moyes players. Like they ain't going to be playing the football. Moyes and Potter are chalk and cheese.
Yeah, you say chalk and cheese. I don't think they're chalk and cheese. I think they've got very similar mindsets. They both want to play 5 at the back and all that. But I think with Potter, he likes to play a bit more of a possession game. And this is the reason why I'm very confused about the signings, because he's bought the goalkeeper. Obviously, the goalkeeper. Even before we got him, I thought he was a decent goalkeeper. I'm going to be honest. I thought he was a decent goalkeeper.
Right, yeah.
If you shove him in the middle of a crisis defence, right? I think if you shoved anyone, I think that's why Areola was struggling, because his defence, right? They cannot do the basic things, right? You look at Todibo, you look at you look at Kilman, and you look at Aguirre. None of them. We see it on thingy. Chelsea with 5 crosses, 5 goals. 5 crosses, 5 goals, right? They cannot head the ball, right? So what was the point in going out and spending 20 minutes? We need the midfield for one, and we need a centre-half. We need a centre-half that can head the ball away, if that's the way you want to play. If you want to play 5 at the back, what's the point in playing 5 centre-backs and none of them can jump up and head the ball? It's pointless. You know what I mean? You might as well play 1 centre-back, because it's going to be the same result if a fucking cross coming in. But what I'm saying is, why go out and buy a goalkeeper that can play with his feet when the others can't even play with their fucking feet? The players on the pitch can't play with their feet. Like for the last 3-4 years, we've had a team that couldn't string 5 passes together. So why are we going out and buying Edison?
Mate, we were talking about this in midweek, like when we and you have a little chat over the phone and that, and we were just saying, like, you might as well just go and buy a 2 million old school centre half who's going to do the dog work, because none of them do it. Like, we got. Our centre backs are a bunch of fairies, mate. You can come to us and go, right, we'll just put a couple of set pieces in the box. That's it. Like, the centre backs ain't got. I don't know. They can't defend headers. The set pieces. How have we turned into this? Because I used to think we was great at defending like a few years ago. I know under Moyes, different story. But but surely the fucking players the Premier League centre backs can defend set pieces.
It's good we had people like Zuma and Craig Dawson, and the first basics of centre back. If you find a basic, I used to be a centre back. First basic one: learn how to head the ball away. First thing, don't let the ball bounce. Always get under it and head it away, mate. It's been bouncing more than fucking anything in our box lately. You know, you watch that Chelsea game, the amount of times it bounces in that box, it's an embarrassment. But that's got to be down. You know, you can slag off Sullivan all you want, and we will slag off Sullivan. Trust me, I'm fucking going to slag off Sullivan.
Yeah.
All right, but you know, that's the manager. You know what I mean? Like, you know, picking free. There's other centre halves there. There's other centre halves that he let go. Look, I never thought to say this. I think Mavropanos has got to come in because at the very least, he can get underneath it and hit the ball.
Yeah, I mean he's prone to a mistake, but I mean like one mistake every 3 games, or getting like conceding 3 a game from set pieces. I think I'd rather the one mistake and risk him.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, 2 games to save his job. Is it right?
Well, the other one as well. What about Alvarez? Like, what we like? He can play centre back. Like, we've got problems at centre back. I don't know why. I don't know if this has been mentioned before. Like, me and you talk about it, but I mean, that needs to be addressed. He's just got one player of the tournament in the Gold Cup, and as centre back, and we just go here. Go Turkey.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, as I said, you know, I've been saying this for weeks, you know, and he even said I want to play for West Ham after the Gold Cup when he was having an interview. He said I want to play for West Ham. I love West Ham. I love the fans. I want to bring something back, you know. And then when you see the start we're having, and the geezer sitting on the bench, hasn't even figured in any of the pre-season, none of it. And it's mad. Like when you think about like we're really struggling at centre half, and he can play centre half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we're playing 3 at the back, shouldn't we have 3 sub centre backs? Like as such, really. Like you'd have a player in every position as a backup.
Yeah.
We've got Mavropanos, loaned out Casey, and loaned out Alvarez, who can do a job there as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know the thinking of it, and we've got a couple of days left of this transfer window. Like we're in the shit, Nick. Like bad. There's no ifs or buts about it. And do you know what the thing is? It's our own doing. You know, like as well. Criswell, he's having a blind. He could have filled in at centre back. You know, why did we let him go? Like, listen, I know he's artwork. Listen, he can still do a job. Like, you know, he's still put himself about a bit. But I don't know. I really don't know. It seems like they're asset stripping. It does. Are they actually getting ready to sell up? I mean, that could be a good thing. Like, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. There's something came right at West Ham, and you know, listen, we ain't broke. We all know we ain't broke because we've got these other investors who are multi-billionaire, whatever. The Czech geezer. We ain't broke. So are they asset stripping? That's the only thing I can think of it because it's weird. Like if we don't sign anyone, there's definitely something going on because you know we're clearly in trouble and they don't seem to care.
I think you are bang on, mate. I think he's tried to do this a couple of times. This is my feeling. I think he tried to do it in 2018, and it's just I think he tried to do it in 2016. And I think it's just basically getting to the point where he's just selling all the players, making as much profit as he can, and trying to get as many loan players as he can, or fucking cheap players as he can, to leave for the next regime, so they can build up again on their own money. I don't think he's going to invest any more money. And if you get to that point, I think you've got you've got to be driven out of a football club. You know, if profit is the main aim of your game right now, and we always thought it was, but he's the one that said no. It's not the main part. We've lost him there. It's not the main part of why. Of why I'll drop him out. But it's not the main reason of why we've taken over this football club. It's never been about profit. And then you see about loans that he's got. You know, when they was meant to be, they said when we moved to the London Stadium that the debt would be gone, and then as we moved into the London Stadium, we said we've still got £100 million worth of debt, which is meant to be the reason why we moved there was to get rid of the debt. They take interest on it every year. Even Mike Ashley didn't fucking take interest on his loan, and even Mike Ashley didn't. Didn't take interest on his loan, and he invented the fucking 0-hour contract. So you can tell about how much money he's on, or he's about, that geezer. And it's like, you know, I can't think of nothing else. It's got to be something like that. It's got to be. I think one of the main things now is Paqueta Paqueta to Spurs. He's heating up. Spurs have had another a little bit of a bump in the road when it comes to signing the number 10, and all of a sudden this Paqueta to Spurs rumor starts going. If he does that, Dainty, what's going to happen?
Do you know what? Listen. I don't think he would. I might be naive because the promise of Champions League football and all that. I don't think he'd go. I think he's a bit of a. I think he generally does love the club, and I don't think he would do that. But money talks, doesn't it?
Well, not have a fucking choice.
Well, yeah. Well, you can refuse it if you wanted to, but yeah. I mean, I think that would be the final nail in the coffin for them. I think that would cause riots, mate. Like that, they clearly don't care. That kudos thing, just. What happened to we don't sell to them, or we've dropped all business with them because of the Adebayor thing? They let us down last minute of the transfer window a couple of years ago. They don't care.
Yeah.
They obviously don't care. They might. That's a sign of they don't care. But it's not like they're not thinking of the future. Like they've done us over, so they don't. It's a sign of we don't care.
Yeah.
It's another sign of it is they don't care. So where's this green light come from of just dealing with Spurs? Because obviously they don't care. Sullivan think might be out of football. Think right, I've made my dough. That's it now.
Yeah. No, I agree. Thank you very much for coming on, Dainty. Is there anything else you want to say, mate, before you go?
Nah, not really, mate. It's just going to be slagging off the club, mate. So I'll leave that to you, mate.
No worries at all. Thank you very much. Tweet Sean Whetstone. Get him to come on. Keep on tweeting him. Keep on bugging him. Tell him, look, we invited you to a stream for a fucking reason. They started talking about you earlier. Do you want to come on this stream and defend yourself? Do you want to come on this stream and tell us what's going on? Do you want to come on this stream and tell us that you're worth your position? Tell him. Keep on tweeting him. Tweet him now. Is anyone else coming in, Dan? Is anyone else coming in?
I've got some irons in the fire. I'm just waiting for some responses at the moment. I think it's everyone's obviously getting ready to watch the Newcastle-Liverpool game, which is going to be huge. But yeah, mate, it's mad times.
What you just said there about possibly Sullivan selling up and maybe asset stripping.
I think there's definitely some credence to Sullivan potentially selling up. It feels like it. It definitely feels like the interest has waned in the club and what he wants to invest. I mean, you look at it, there's a reason we're selling to buy. I don't believe that we're broke. We're the 20th richest club in the world, apparently. And all of a sudden now, we have to sell to buy. We've got PSR troubles, we've got FFP troubles. We're not doing anything to try and get around it. There's something there. And he knows how much the fans hate him regardless, and he'll never win us over. Believe me, I know that he knows that. So, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. It feels like the end of a very long nightmare. And hopefully, it's free at last. We'll see.
Yeah. Newey says, I think the Geezy just done about asset stripping. Made some good points. Dainty always makes good points, mate. You know what I mean? Sometimes he can't get them across because he's saying banned words. And he's about 10 points deep. But he's always, me and Dainty have very interesting chats about West Ham, and we big each other up. And then we say what we see, and there's always great points to be made by Dainty. You know what I mean? Don't like really coming on that much, but Michael says I can't see anyone wanting to buy a club, but make believe stadium and League One training facility.
Well, the thing is, you look at a lot of the owners that have taken over clubs and upgraded their training facilities. I don't think that's a barrier. Yeah, the stadium. This is the thing, right? It's been reported that Sullivan values this club at around 800 million quid, which is massively overpriced considering we don't own our stadium and the fact that we're not in Europe anymore. And I think Everton went for like 300 million. Newcastle went for not that much different. Why are we so expensive? Is it just London? Is Sullivan being greedy? So I think if a club, an ownership, I do think we are ripe for a takeover. I really do. If they're looking at Millwall, why not West Ham?
Yeah.
It's Sell the club to Mr. Marinakis. Someone said.
Someone said 800 million. Yeah. To be fair, that is it. It's 800 million pounds that he wants for this football club. A football club that only owns his own. What did Everton go for?
I think Everton went for around 300, if I remember right.
Yeah.
That's just off my head.
Let's just take Everton as an example, because they're a very similar club to us, and then add London tax, so an extra 50 million. 350 is maximum that it'll get for it, because I mean they own their own fucking ground.
Yeah, this is it, and he's still making a massive profit on what he paid for it.
Yeah. There we go. This is a very unexpected message. Kiwi Spurs TV says, "Big up, lads! Love your content. Thank you, mate."
Oh wow!
I bet you do.
Yeah, he's loving it now, and he's especially loving it right now. But no, it's fair enough. It makes a nice change from the usual messages we get from Spurs telling us we're going down.
Yeah. Philip Coley, who's always supported us, been big fan of Philip. Would you take a couple of years in a championship if it meant taking to fully rebuild and possible someone take over? Someone cares, generally has the fans' best interest as well as a bit of dough. That's what I want the next guest to talk about. That's what I want, unless you've got something else to talk about. That is a very good point, because I've said that earlier. I said, would you take a couple of years in a championship? And we was talking about this earlier, funny enough, between us. And would absolutely. And like the last stint in the championship was, I think, it was the last stint in the championship. It was exactly what we needed, and that was getting rid of the biscuit barons sort of like wrongdoings and the money that they was giving away from them. So at the time I supported going down. You could tell that we was getting ready to go down, so a lot of these players could go. I could tell that was a given, and they knew that they was going to put enough to get back up, because they knew they had a lot of years back in here. We're in the same situation now with this geezer that done all of that, took us down to the championship to go and get rid of a load of them contracts and all of that sort of stuff. Them couple of years of suffering that we had to do just to get the decent times back at the club again. It's put us in exactly the same position.
Yeah.
So
this is the thing. If that scenario was like, if you're guaranteeing me we go down for a couple of seasons, we get rid of Deadwood, we get Sullivan out, and we get an owner that wants to buy us for a cheaper price, invest and get us back up, then yes. If you would ask me if I would want to take a gamble on that, going down on the hope that might happen, the answer is no. I wouldn't want to gamble, because you go down, you don't know when you're coming out up. Just ask Forest, ask Leeds. You never know how long you're going to be down there, so I wouldn't want to gamble. Apparently, Everton have officially signed Diblin from Southampton, so it looks like they're not going to be signing Souček. So yeah, well, with the fact that he's barely playing now, Souček. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me that would have sold him and tried to get a bit of money in, but so that's their look at Everton though. They're going and getting their business done. Jack Grealish, Dewsbury Hall, Diblin, like these are players that we've been linked with, and we haven't even tried to sign. We've been linked with, and now look, they've gone and got them. And Jack Grealish, who we were linked with, made an instant impact. Got the assist the other day. It's different, and this is what I'm saying. They've got fresh new owners that come in and have ambition. They've had PSR and FFP troubles, and they're spending. So there's no reason we can't.
Absolutely.
So
come on, get someone on the call here. Come call in. We want to hear from you. I'm waiting for Sean. Where's Sean? Has he said anything?
Yeah,
since?
Where is Sean? He's gone silent. He's gone since he was like, "Oh, you meant to send me. You meant to send me that. Oh dear." Like, I don't want to be talking about it right now. Yeah, I've sent it to a few people. Was like, "Oh, mate, if the time was different, I'd love to have come on."
Yeah, of course, of course.
I think people are just they're West Ham down. What time to talk about West Ham? What's the number? It's not a number, Tommy. It's a link. So if you're on social medias, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok,
we can put it in the chat, can't we?
What? The link?
Yeah.
Well, that was the thing, innit? Then we're gonna have just loads of people clicking on. We're gonna have to
That's the
manage it.
problem. We don't want any old fucking Spurs fan calling in. We want to hear from West Ham fans.
Yeah, I mean,
Come on,
there's nothing
Sean.
wrong with the. Oh, mate, imagine he clicked in and was like, "What is the context?" Oh, Sean just come back. What's the context?
So come in and find out.
Just let's.
Send him a link to what we're talking about. He can fucking see the context. Send him a link to what we're talking about. Come on, Whetstone, come in and come and tell us why you've been tweeting out the fact that David Sullivan's going to come and save us all from transfer fucking misery at the end of the transfer window when he's always been in charge of it. Tell me where these 2 tweets come from. Why are they different? You know, why do you think we forget? Why do you think we're a load of prats? Tell us. You're an enabler, mate. You're an enabler. You know, and I'm not having it anymore. You're an enabler. Until then, come on, let's have someone else. Have the link and come in.
So he's intrigued. We've piqued his interest.
Yeah. He likes a bit of PR on a big channel. So come on.
Right. Let's see. Right. So like I said, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, whatever social media you got, send us a message on there. Well, that's not true, he's saying.
What's not true?
2 games to save his job.
All right, well, come and tell us then. Come and tell us.
Graham Paley.
No, the thing I want to hit him with is the transfer thing. The 2 things that he tweeted out. That's the thing I want to hit him with. That's the thing I want to talk about. Why is he telling everyone that he's frustrated with the staff and the staff are fucked up? Why are you telling everyone that the staff are fucked up and David Sullivan's going to come in and ride in on a steed to save us all from transfer misery when you tweeted out in the end of last season that he's always been in charge of it? So when was you lying? What one was you lying about? Was he never in charge of it or was he always in charge of it? Come and tell us what one was the lie, because there's so many tweets we can look at where they basically contradict themselves, and you know, maybe you can tell us what one's a lie and what one's the truth.
He definitely ain't seen our video earlier. I'm trying to be diplomatic. He said when we're going live, so I've told him we're live now. So let's see. Oh, it's going to be interesting. Will he join?
Stick around.
This is going to be it, mate.
Comes in, and maybe you can be in here when he comes in.
Yeah, I don't want to. I didn't want to say too much and make him. I don't want to scare him off. I'm in Spain, but I can give you 5 minutes if we do it now.
Let's do it. 5 minutes.
5 minutes, mate. You're gonna have to be. Fair play to him.
I'm telling you, I've always said this about Sean. You know what I mean? I say a lot about Sean. Sean will never back out of a fucking debate.
He's got some front. I'll give him that. You know what I mean? You can't fault that. I don't like how he goes about things, but you know what I mean? He's sitting there. He knows he's not Mr. Popular, but he's fronting up. In Spain, by all things. In Spain. Oh, mate. Mate, I can see you're raring to go. I can see you're amped up.
I've had enough of these people, mate.
Just don't say anything crazy. Like, let's try to not, get sued.
Pull up some of these tweets, Dan. We'll get them on the screen, mate, so I can fucking put them to him.
The tweets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, there was the thing, wasn't it, about Sullivan being the de facto director of football and him taking over transfers. It's annoying. Here he is.
Let's go.
Welcome, Sean. Welcome. Looking sunny over there.
Yeah, it's not too bad in Costa del Sol.
Oh, wow.
Sean,
well,
we've been talking about you all day, mate.
Oh, yeah. That's nice.
Yeah. basically, we want answers now, mate. I've had enough, to be quite honest with you. I've had
Go on,
enough
then.
of all this bollocks. I've had enough of the Sullivan era. I've had enough of all these in the nose. I've had enough of all these leaks. I want to know what the truth is. I want to know what the truth is about the tweets that you're putting out. I want to know the truth about the stuff that you're putting out. I want to know the truth behind what is happening at the club at the moment. And you're the man. You claim to know everything. I questioned you on a tweet the other day about these midfielders. I said to you the other day, Sean, you seem to know the ins and outs of David Sullivan's bowel movements, but you couldn't tell us the 3 midfielders we was linked to when, that's the business you've been in. And we've also pulled up a tweet today where we've seen you saying that David Sullivan's ready to come in and save our transfer season because he's frustrated with the way the club's been run. But we've also pulled up a tweet from you about a couple of months ago, mate, saying he's always been in charge. So what's the truth?
There's a lot to unpack there, Sean.
Well, there's not one person in charge. You've always. Sorry. Yeah, it's a lot to unpack. Yeah. Welcome. Yeah.
Welcome.
Thanks for inviting me on, lads. So look. The David Sullivan is always been involved in transfers. You're absolutely right, but you can't, and this has always been the case. You can't force all your players onto a manager because he just won't play them. Right? You could do a few, and we know that, right? You can have a Callum Wilson, etc. But on the whole, you need to get the managers buy-in. And we bought in Carl McCauley, paid £1 million compensation for him to do the job.
What's he doing?
It's not for me to say. Well, from what I'm told, and not by senior sources, but agent sources, they're not realistic. There's been. Look, I always get behind a manager. That there was always been talk that Graham Potter's been flattered by Tony Bloom's formula. He made his name when he was in Brighton. He obviously wanted Carl McCauley. I don't know. I'm not in the know from why he can't get his targets. They've had all summer to do this. All I've been told by some agents is some of those targets have not been realistic, and I guess you can see that 2 ways. One, we haven't got enough money. The targets are too expensive, or they're players that don't want to come.
But why don't they want to come? What is going on at this football club at the minute? Because as I said before, we pulled up 2 tweets from you today. One of them saying that he's about to step in and there's a week to go. And let's be honest, right? And you're a fan. You claim to be a fan, but I think you're a Sullivan enabler sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, and I was talking about this earlier, I'm sick of people like you because you're in his pocket, right? And you're peddling his shit over and over and over again, and you're confusing people. And you're meant to be a custodian, a fan, a supporter of this football club.
Yeah, but
look, it is a worrying time. There's without a doubt, But
this is
you can believe what you want, but at the end of the day,
but the thing is with
you've got to.
You're putting out 2 different versions of the story. You said a couple of months ago that they've turned down all directors of football. David Sullivan is in charge of the transfers. Now, with a week to go, David Sullivan's sick of it, and he's going to come in and come in like the white. What version is the truth?
Hang on.
There's no coalition.
There is a difference between.
Let him answer.
Hang on. Right, there is a difference between a director of football still has to get. So even when Tim,
you said that he was the director.
Steiden. Right, Tim Steiden, when he was in charge, still didn't pick the players. Right, it was still down to Julian Lopetegui. Here's my players I want. Now go out and get them. That's what the director of football does. Right. So yes, absolutely, de facto, David Sullivan, director of football. Here's the list. These are the players I want. For whatever reason, the players that they wanted that were on the list have not been working out. All right, we got Deal, Carl Walker-Peters.
Oh.
That's the answer. But I guess, look, I'm not going to make any excuses for.
Mm.
On my back.
Yeah. You're back.
Yeah.
You're back now. You're back.
Hello.
You're back. I just think, Sean, because I know you get a rise out of winding fans up and things like that, and you like to play the bad guy on social media, right? Because I just think at times like this, we know what Sullivan is. There's no way he's qualified to be a director of football of a football company, and I think sometimes when you're putting out positive spin for Sullivan, and that's what it comes across like, you're doing more harm than good, and I think that is the big problem. And I think if you can, be a bit more even-handed, you'll come a lot better off for it. Oh, we've lost him. See, this we're playing good cop, bad cop, everyone. I'm good cop, Nicky's bad cop.
Fair play to him for coming on. Fair play. Yeah, I don't think we need to, but
and he's gone. We need to get him on one day properly when he's like.
Yeah.
You can hear us, Sean? You're back. Did you hear any of that?
I can hear you.
Yeah. Can you hear any? Did you hear any of that?
Did you hear any?
No, I didn't. Sorry, I didn't hear that. I've got a problem with the network out here.
Basically, what he said, as I said, all respect for coming on, but basically what he said is that you've admitted several times now that you want to be sort of like, a controversial figure in the West Ham fan base. You want to wind people up. You like to be the antagonist or the protagonist or whatever the fuck it is. It's the antagonist, of course, in the West Ham fan base, and you get a kick of winding people up. Do you think at times like this it's wise?
Well, I get a lot of haters on social media anyway, and people don't like what I do, so it doesn't matter whether I suddenly say something.
Why do you think that is?
Yeah. Well, and that's because of my connections with people at the club, without a doubt. It would be disingenuous to suddenly start saying, this. We need new owners or making a call for the petition or anything like that. It would be absolutely disingenuous at this stage.
No, I don't think you have to do that, Sean, and we're not expecting it. And this is the thing, because we wind me up. I mean, we've had you on the show, and I think you're a nice bloke. Like, we got on with you. So a lot of times I have to hold back and say, before I snap and go, do you know what? It's just, let's not go personal, because I get to the point where I'm like, you're just tweeting stuff that's it comes across as pro Sullivan, or you're putting spin on things to put heat on managers, which I think you've done over the years, and putting the stories out that the manager doesn't want any players. Sullivan really wants to try and get these players in, but the manager's turning players down, and it always seems to be putting heat on the manager and taking heat off of Sullivan. I'm not saying you have to go and slag him off and put Sullivan out tweets, but I look at someone like ex-employee who's a little bit more even-handed on it, and I think that's the difference. I'm not saying he's better, you're better, but I'm just saying if you did things if you came across more neutral and less like you're putting Sullivan's sort of spin out, I think you would get a lot less hate. And if you were just reporting, well, here's what I've heard, here's the stories, it always seems to be in favor of Sullivan, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, as we say, it's my bed, I lie in it. But what I'd say is, look, the title of this show that you're doing, and as I say, I'm just left a party to join you for 5 minutes, so we'll have to go soon, chaps. But they don't, as Brady said recently on TalkSport, they're not sackers. He's not Graham Bailey, who wrote the story in Tribal Football, the Boot Room, or whatever it's called, doesn't know anyone on the board. That is rubbish. He hasn't got two games to save himself. The Times talked about October break. I'm doubtful of that. There is always the 6-game rule, right? If you lose 6 Premier League games, I'll bring that up again. No one can survive. An old story that David Gold used to say. There does come a limit. But I think, as Brady says, there is that. Look, social media does go a little bit of a meltdown, doesn't it? And there is a bit of hysteria. Yes, we've lost 2 games. We've got to sort it out. But the players have got to take their share of the blame, and so does the manager. Yeah, and yes, the ball picked the manager, but we're all in it together, aren't we?
Yeah, but I think it's the squad we've built, Sean, and we've known the problems for the better part of a year, that the midfield is a problem.
But do you really think we're definitely, it's a foregone conclusion we're getting relegated this season?
Yes,
You do,
Well,
Nicky.
absolutely.
I don't think it's a full. It depends if we fix that midfield. As with this team, with what we've got now, it's very likely.
Yeah, what we've got now and what we've let that team degenerate into, right, is going to go down without a doubt. There is no three teams going to be worse because I went and watched it at Sunderland, Sean, and I went and watched it at Chelsea, and it's awful. You know,
it wasn't good. I watched both games here from Spain. Good.
Yeah. The football he's playing, we're going to go down, but they need to fix it. And selling
Midfield and defence aren't good enough.
Selling kudos to people like Spurs, he's not going to do David Sullivan any favours. But mate, we'll let you get back to your party and say hello to David Sullivan when you go back in.
Yeah, nice one.
All right, bye.
Tell him to sign someone. There we go.
You kicked me out as well.
Yeah. Fair play to him. Fair play to him.
Yeah. Look,
you
front
get
it up.
answers, but
No, I would like to get him on when we can have when he has a better connection and we can have a proper chat with him and things like that. But yeah, I wanted to try him. And this is the thing. Somebody was like, "Oh, Dad's bottled it." I didn't want to just shout at the geezer. I want to genuinely get to the bottom of it. And anyone that comes on, this ain't a platform for me to go, "Well, you're a prick. You're a this. You're a that." I'm going to tell you exactly what I think and people see this when I go on TalkSport or whatever, and I'm talking about Sullivan. I'm not effing and blinding. I'm getting my point across, and I got my point across to him without slagging the geezer off, and you get something back. And look, he's very slick, isn't he, with it? He's very slick.
Yeah, he knows what he's saying. He knows what he's doing. He knows what the right things to say without saying much. And that's the thing. Like, but I still don't agree with it. And sure, he's always known I don't agree with it. But this is the time when, you know, when he's letting the fucking football club dwindle away, why I keep on peddling his shit. You know what I mean? He still didn't give me an answer. Why did you tweet 2 months ago that Sullivan was fully in charge of transfers? And why did you now tweet this week that
his answer was BS? And it's annoying that I didn't have enough. There's not enough time and connection for me to really poke him on that, because he was like, "Well, Stuyton was a director of football, and Stuyton didn't pick the players. The director of football don't pick the players; they just go out and get the players that the manager wants." That's not true. That's not necessarily true. Like, the director of football is supposed to oversee the football operations, right? So they're the one that's picking the manager. They're the one that's choosing the style of play. They work with the manager on players, but they're deciding, well, look, we need to get players that fit my vision, because it's the director of football that oversees it and is the constant. So for him to just say, "Oh yeah, he's just the guy that goes off and gets the players," I don't buy that. And now that's Sullivan's role. And Sullivan, by the way, is doing a horrendous job at it. And the thing is as well, if that's just the role, because the story was that he reported, it's so annoying when we have more time. He said Hasilos and Stuyton didn't work out. Why did they not work out if they were just getting other people's players? Stuyton got all the players over the line that we got. So if we're not blaming then the signings on Stuyton, we're blaming them on Moyes and Lopetegui. Why is Stuyton not here? Because he got the. So if it's just about going out and getting players, he got the players. If the manager wanted all those players we signed, Stuyton got them all. Hasilos, he got the players that Pellegrini wanted. If they're shit, then you can't blame the director of football if his job is just going out and getting the players. So that's BS. They're responsible for choosing players.
Yeah, he doesn't choose them. So why sack him?
Yeah. What has he done wrong?
Jinx. 1, 2, 3.
We need. We got to get him back. Why?
And he's the one that tweeted this sort of shit out, right? Why sack the director of football if he's just told me right there and then on this live stream because he didn't know what he was walking into? Why sack the geezer if he's gone out and done exactly what the fucking manager said? Why sack him and not the manager? What has he done wrong? Because he tweeted that Sullivan didn't think he'd done a good job. They sacked Stuyton for what? For doing his job.
He got all the players up. So if the players are shit and he's saying, well, the signings weren't good, but then you're saying that Stuyton picked the players, which means that if you're saying that Sullivan is now the de facto director of football, then he's picking the players, isn't he? And this is the thing where Sean lets himself down, is the little spin and twists. And this is, I would love to say to him if we had more time, it's little half truths. That's what he does, little half truths and twists of things that make it sound on the surface. You're like, Oh, well,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
that sounds
Yeah. But then you remember what he said, and this is what Kevin Bearing says here. Nick, to be a good liar, you have to have a good memory.
Yeah,
To be a good
and that's
liar,
the problem.
you have to have a good memory, and that is his problem, and that is what is pissing me off. The fact that he sacked Stuyden because the players he picked were shite, and then he's just telling me right now the director of football don't pick the players; he just goes and gets one of the managers. So what the fuck's the truth? Again, there's always a correlation between what the truth is and what he's actually saying.
Yeah,
But
and that's the frustrating bit. And he never fronts it. He never goes, do you know what? I got it wrong. He never holds his hands up. And that's the problem. When people point out his contradictions, he ghosts. He don't front it. He don't say, oh, well, and that's the problem. He gets caught out so many times and then just vanishes. And that's the frustrating part. And that's why I would like to have him on. We had him on the podcast years ago. And like I said, he's very smooth. Do you know what I mean? He comes across nice guy, whatever, but he's you can tell, right? He knows what he's doing. He works with Sullivan. If you're Sullivan's spin doctor, you gotta be on point with it. And in the moment, he's good, but once you start remembering all the other shit he said, and if we have time and we get him on ahead of time, oh mate, I'm gonna get a dossier up, mate. I'm gonna prepare. And October 2019, you said this, mate. And then on October 2021, you said this. Explain.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got someone else coming on. Tommy should be joining us shortly.
Tommy, you've been very quick. Come back. We need you.
Hit the like button.
Hit
but
the like
smooth
button.
or smarmy, whichever one, mate. Whichever one you think. Like I said, yeah. The one thing is, like I said, I fair play to him. He'll come on and he'll front it because I think he's got that little bit of arrogance in him that he believes that he can handle it.
He's in Spain. I feel sorry to poor Buck because if he'd have listened to what I fucking said about him earlier, he might not come
mate.
But but I'm angry. I am angry with people like him at the moment. I'm angry with the football club, and I'm angry with people like him because, as I said before, Sean's a nice guy, and I've never had a crossword with Sean as a person, but as a West Ham supporter, he's a fucking disgrace. And and for someone that's in this line of work as well, that the social media, West Ham sort of, what would you call it? The West Ham content scene, I suppose. I've never been like that. You know what I mean? And I've if you claim to support this football club, listen. We've had offers from this football club and we've turned them down. There's things that we've gone on in the past that we've never disclosed. That's not what I'm about, man. Like, we built this channel on opinion and, an actual support of the football club. You shouldn't have to. If you're having to go to tickle this man's bollocks to get, something viable to talk about and your, your content relies on that, and you have to tickle the man's bollocks and tell his lies, then you're not a West Ham fan anymore. I'm afraid you're not.
This is the other thing he said. First of all, thanks, Rich, for the £2 super chat. Great show as always. Thank you, Rich. The other thing he said, right, is it would be disingenuous of him because his relationship he wouldn't mention with Sullivan, with the board, is like who I'm connected with, for me to come out and start slagging him off. And this is the issue, right? Is, for one, no one's asking you to do that. We're just asking you to be truthful and not do PR for them. And two, you're a West Ham fan. So you're admitting you've got a relationship with people that are actively damaging the club. Yeah. And because of that relationship, you don't want to speak out against them. So where does your loyalties lie? Is it to Sullivan or is it to the team that you claim to be a fan of? And that's my big issue with him.
Listen, I think the issue is with me, Dan, and I'm saying this right. If that's your if that's your drive and that's what you want, no one's stopping you from doing it. But the thing that is, that's my club, and that's your club, and that's not just David Sullivan's club. This is everyone's club. That club means the fucking world to me. And when there's a man sitting there absolutely fucking destroying it. And there's a West Ham fan that's sitting next to me in this scene, right? And he's the one fucking, and he's sitting there fucking defending the geezer. Everyone's trying to get the fucker out, and he's trying to keep the fucker in. Yeah, that is when I've got an issue. That is when I've got a big issue. Because I cannot sit there and watch a normal geezer that I can sit there and talk to peddle this man shit all the time, because his shit is ruining the fucking thing that I love.
Yeah.
Regardless, I don't care who it was. It doesn't matter who it is. Like if it was you, Dan, I'd be saying the same thing. Do you know what I mean? I will not sit here and watch a man basically like help out in the destruction of this football club by peddling his politics.
I don't know what he gets, if he gets money, or I don't know how he makes his money. But
it's exclusivity, isn't it? He tells him things.
Let's bring in Tommy as our I guess our final guest of the day.
Tommy, how you doing, mate? Can't hear you. Dan, can you sort out his audio before we I can't hear you at all, mate. Click. Dan, come back. Sorry.
Go to your settings. So yeah, I can see his mic isn't muted.
Yeah.
But he needs to go in. I think you need to go into his settings, mate, and select the mic.
Select the mic that you're going to be using.
Yeah, because I can only control whether he uses.
Yes. There we go. There we are.
Thank you, gentlemen. Apologies. Yes, I had to go into the settings. Long time been watching you guys, right from like probably 10.5 years.
Yes.
10.5 years.
A lot.
Yeah, we all were. But we're all doing okay. We're all still here. Anyway, so look, I've been living in Portugal for the last 26 years, just to give you my West Ham credentials. I started going West Ham when I was about 9 or 10, 81, 82 season in the South Bank. With my mates, we used to walk. I used to live in East Ham.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't been, to West Ham for a long time. And it just saddens me so much to see how this club has just kind of imploded like this with David Sullivan at the helm. And you asked the question, would we go down? If we went down and we were able to rebuild and reset, would it be a good idea? I mean, I would ask you that, mate, because you're the one who goes there every week in, week out. You pay the money. You have to travel.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say?
What do I say, Tom? I'm going to be honest with you, mate. I don't care whether I'm travelling to Manchester United or Scunthorpe. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not going to watch Manchester United. I'm not going to watch Man City. I'm not going to watch Chelsea. I'm going to watch West Ham United, whether they're playing like in the dog and duck reserves or they're playing in the Champions League final. It doesn't matter to me. I'll go wherever they go. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think that in terms of players, maybe not, because I don't think they want to invest anymore. But in terms of what's going on at the ground, the people they've driven away, the people that they've basically left in the dirt and got these tourists in, the tourists have stopped coming. And I don't care. And this is just my view. And I know sometimes that, maybe in terms of like business wise and getting back to the Premier League, it would be detriment. But I would rather sit in there with 10,000 proper West Ham fans than 60,000 people that don't want to fucking watch the club and just go out for a day out. And that's the God's truth.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I mean, he's done such a bad job over these last few. I mean, reality is we have been playing poorly probably for the last 3 seasons, 3 years at least. I know we won the conference, done well, but that season in the league was pretty poor and it papered over the cracks. We've got to remember that before everybody goes back on, the Moyes thing. Moyes, it started to go wrong with Moyes. Obviously went disastrous with Lopetegui. I know about Lopetegui because I live in Porto and I was trying to warn everybody because he was here at Porto and he's hated here. He is hated. He really done a bad job here. Positives, I mean, we ain't going to get rid of Sullivan and all that, and I wish he'd go away because it's such a shame we don't talk about football anymore. We just talk about the politics of it, and that's really, really, it gets a bit sickening after a while. Positives, talk about football. They just need to get some signings. Let's be practical. Get a couple of midfielders in, and that could really turn the season around, and we could start being a little bit more positive. Simple as that. Sullivan, if you're listening, I know I hate your guts, but just sign a couple of midfielders, decent midfielders, and we may have a chance.
I think he's making a rod for his own back, because he knows what the problems are, and if he doesn't address the problems, the pressure is going to grow on him again. He's had a good couple of years now, where he's had no pressure on him whatsoever. You know, the David Moyes era was a successful era in terms of, you know, we was playing regular European football, doing well in European competition, and it started to slip, right? And yes, you can go back in hindsight, you can turn around and go, well, that's not the, you know, it wasn't the fact that David Moyes didn't have to go. It was the fact that we needed to pick someone to take us on to the next step. And that is where he failed. That is where he failed. People are seeing these people now on TalkSport, you're seeing, you know, the destruction of the club. The destruction of the club isn't because of the manager. It's because of the chairman and the way that what he's done with the decision after he's got rid of David Moyes. It's not the manager's fault, and it ain't even some of the players' fault. It's just what we've done with the money, with the signings, and with the progress of the football club since. And you see him now saying, see, I've told you to be careful what you wish for. Why aren't they saying that to Tottenham? Tottenham have just got rid of a manager that have just won a European Cup in his season.
Exactly.
Now, finished 17th in a similar position to us, but they're at the top of the Premier League and we're at the bottom of the Premier League. Why aren't
they're
they
more ambitious?
Be careful what you wish for. Why aren't they saying that? Because they're fucking winning.
Yeah.
They're winning. And they've picked a progressive manager. You know, there's not one fan out there now, or one pundit, right, that would turn around and say Thomas Frank is worse manager than Ange Postecoglou. Not one. And he won him a cup. The same situation.
They're more ambitious, Nicky. You know what I mean? They're more ambitious. That's the thing. West Ham, you know, we just, you know, and we thought what was the point of giving up the Boleyn if we're just going to, you know, the whole thing was going to the stadium. It was going to be massive, loads of, you know, a lot more money coming in. And now we're able to compete. We've got a stadium. We can attract all these players and all of that now. And it's just gone crap, hasn't it? Let's face it. It has really gone pear-shaped, hasn't it?
But listen, we'll still be here. That's the mugginess of us. We're stuck with this. We're stuck with this football club till the day we die.
Well, you are what you are. You know what I mean. That can't change. You are what you are. We are West Ham United. You know, you know, you're from the area. I know you're from Canning Town and all that. And you know, it's just that is our club. Your club chooses you. You don't choose your club. That's it.
Brilliant, Tommy. Thank you so much for coming on. We'll be doing this again next week. If you ever want to come on again, mate, please get involved. It's been a pleasure to chat.
Thank you.
As well as all of our guests, and that includes Sean Whetstone, and that includes the Romford. What do they call him? The Romford final boss.
What a good call Tommy was. It was
good.
What
a brilliant call. Yeah, and that is what we want to hear. You know what I mean? That is what we want to hear.
Proper fans around the globe, just having their say, and yeah, it was eventful. Like you said, we had the Romford final boss, followed by the Sullivan. Well, he's not the Sullivan's final boss. Sullivan's his final boss.
The Sullivan sub boss, we call him. We've got to fight to get to him.
Sullivan's minion. Yeah, it is eventful. We will try to get Sean on when he's settled and have proper connection, and try and do another show. I want to find that podcast we done ages ago with him.
Iron Brew Iniesta says, wait, did Whetstone phone in? We told you not to be late earlier, Iron Brew. We told you not to be late.
He did. Porto geezer. Yeah, he did phone in. He did. And do you know what? Like, we sent him the link and he's like, did you mean to send me a random link? I said, yes. What's the context? I didn't want to say too much that, you know, we're going to put it on, you know, like, said, Graham Potter have 2 games to save his job. Look, this is the conversation. I got 5 minutes. Boom, jumped on. And yeah, it was.
It says, sorry, guys, I have my son's football training. No, listen, mate, I'm only joking. Mate, the good thing about the internet is you can go back and watch it all again. So do that.
Yes, it will be there. But yeah, I didn't want to, because I knew you was amped up, but I wanted to let him speak. Because when he speaks, he trips himself up. Do you know what I mean? He contradicts himself. Then you can push him and go, well, what about this? Well, how comes that? Joe the Hammer keeps saying I bottled it. Like, what would you expect me to do? Say, right, see you.
No, you have to. As Dan said, like, the thing is with people like that, and Sean, the more you let him talk, the more he gets himself in trouble. And the problem with me, and you'll notice about me if you've been watching us over the years, I don't stop fucking talking.
No. It's just
and
not.
I'll get amped up and I go, and I won't let him fucking answer.
There's no point bringing a geezer on just to do
Just a
that.
hammer.
Like, I want to find out where his mind is. I want him to answer questions. And, you know, I'm the Sean Wetz on this channel. Wind up with Dan. Yeah, you are. Wind up. Yeah, it was interesting. Like, and I'm genuinely interested. Like I said, I don't have a problem with him as a person. I have a problem with what he does. And I guess that kind of links with him as a person. But it's always difficult when you've met someone and spoke to someone, and then you see him, like, when there's no attack, you don't know anyone. You see him on like the Moose, for example. I don't know the Moose. I've never met him. He comes across like a prick. I can't stand him. I will slag him off, right? I've seen him in public before. He's walked past and he was an arsehole to Robbie. So I won't pull my punches in. When I've seen Sean, he's come on our channel and chatted to us. As a person, I'm not going to sit there and start abusing the geezer, but I'm going to tell him how I feel, and that's how I feel. I said he lets himself down.
That is the thing about Sean, right? And this is the thing about Sean. He's got no shame, man. He's got no shame. He ain't, as he said, you know, I'm not going to be disingenuous and start saying balled out. So you're not a West Ham fan because you know that man at the moment is not the best thing for this fucking football club.
Yeah. But the thing is, he doesn't even have to say balled out, but report the truth. If Sullivan's doing something that's affecting this club, say this is what's happening. You can just be a neutral news site. You don't have to be a fan site like us where we go, Sullivan's this. Sit there and say, report the stuff that makes Sullivan look bad and not just the stuff that makes him look good or makes the manager look bad. That's the problem. That's where you become propaganda. And yeah, I think that's my issue with him. And you know, he needs to sort out. Joe says, "Who's the Moose?" Oh, he's an apparent West Ham fan that wanted Spurs to win the Champions League. Works for TalkSport. That's something you need to know about that geezer. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it was an interesting call. But I'll be interested. I would love to ask him next time what happens to Sean Whetstone when Sullivan does leave. Is there a reason why he wants him? He's not pushing for him to get out of his club.
I'll tell you what. The next owner that comes in, Sean will be sitting on his knees. Oh, come on. Honestly. The next one. Jesus Christ.
What's going on? Is Sean
I've been ringing like
I just see that stream earlier.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know how to turn it off.
Where's it coming from?
Like the phone and the computer.
He sent Sullivan after you.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, let's start wrapping it up then.
Let's start wrapping it up. It's been a great show. It's been a great show. Very interesting. Like I said, we will try and get Sean back on. We will be back next Monday for, I believe, right, Nick, for the next phone-in show.
Yes,
so if you do want to be a part of that, then just know it will be back again next week, and you can get a chance to have your say. Really good stuff. So listen, thank you all for watching. Tomorrow, Nicky is going up to Wolves. I'll be doing the watch along with Jace. So it's a really good one to look out for fan cams and the watch along. And hopefully we bloody win. Score predictions. Rich says that's a good shout. We meant to do that earlier when we talked about the Wolves game on the
2-1 West Ham.
I'm gonna say 2-2. We squeak through on penalties.
I don't want to do that because I've got to get up the next morning. I don't want to say penalties.
Yeah, I hope not. Like, now, do you know what? It's never a good game at Wolves. Like, it's always crap. It'll be like 1-0 either way, to be fair, or 0-0. Like, honestly,
if anyone fancies it, I've probably got about a dozen tickets that people trying to give them.
Yeah, my uncle's like, oh, everyone wants to. I'm like, good luck. Honestly, I after last time, I was like, I'm never coming here again. Like, every time I went, we lost, and it was like the worst performance ever. So,
right, Dan, I've got to go.
Right, let's go. All right, thank you all for watching.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow. One thing left to say. Come on, your hands.